Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the show. I am really grateful today that Dr. Marlene Bizub is back with us. Welcome, Marlene.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, so Marlene was on with us not too long ago. I should call you Dr. Bizub. Uh,
No, that's fine.
but Dr. Bizub was on with us talking about holiday stress and what to do to be a really good co-parent and things to think about during the holidays. But I wanted today to focus on something really important that I see as a child legal representative, which is a minors counsel or best interest attorney known in other states. I see in most of my appointments really broken relationships, and there are very few mental health professionals. And we've talked about this a lot on my show. There's very few mental health professionals who do this kind of very specialized work well. And because I think that your work, Dr. Bizub, is so important and so unusual, really, in the mental health field, I wanted to have you come on and talk about that today and just how nuanced this work is and just helping professionals, whether that's lawyers or judges or mental health professionals, understand the dynamics of this, and particularly helping parents understand the dynamics of this is such an important thing for us to discuss. So that is our topic today. By way of introduction, Dr. Bizub, what does that introduction spur in your mind as to what you think people need to initially think about when they've got these relational issues going? Sometimes that shows up in a parent-child contact problem. That's usually how the cases arrive at our desk. Would you agree with that?
Yes. Yes. Usually there's an estrangement between a child and a parent. And so then we get brought in. People don't like to do this work. And I understand, but I'm also, as you said, and thank you for the compliment, but I'm good at it just because I've had years of experience doing it. But it is very specialized. And to answer your question, the first thing that comes to mind, I actually have three things, but the first thing that comes to mind is it does involve all family members. And I can't emphasize that enough because parents and children alike think they're going to come in and it's just going to be the one parent and the one child who are estranged or having problems or whatever, or maybe it's one parent and all the children, but they don't perceive that the other parent needs to be involved. And they do. They are part of this system, the family system, and they do need to be involved. So, right off the bat, they can't just take a back seat and say, here, fix the problems with my child and their other parent. They've got to be actively involved as well.
Do you find that helpful when parents are coming in with that alienation or narcissism or gaslight, whatever those labels are, gaslighting?
No, no, I don't. And I'm glad you bring that up because it does create a certain perception of that person. And then I meet them and I'm working with them and I'm like, that's not what's going on here at all. That's your perception or your experience with them. And I also totally agree that parents can change. I have a family I'll see tonight, actually. We're a year into the reunification. And the person that dad was a year ago, and he'll admit it, is very different from the person he is today. And the parents, as they move on from the divorce, they develop self-esteem back. They get over their anger and resentment, and they just become a calmer, happier person. And so I think we have to recognize that labeling them doesn't help because it also might apply today, but it might have applied yesterday, but it doesn't apply today, or it's not going to apply tomorrow.
What's the difference of how, like, let's say a teenager or a parent in an individual therapy setting, not looking at the system, is
Mhm.
it's going to be what does that treatment look like versus
Mhm.
what you're doing in a family systems high conflict divorce situation?
Yes. Oh, that's easy. And it's a great question. First of all, typically we're providing supportive therapy. We're helping the person understand what they're feeling. It might be grief and loss, like if it's a cancer diagnosis, they're experiencing some grief, some loss, some fear, all those things. So we are providing supportive therapy. In essence, what we're providing here is somewhat confrontational. Like you have to confront to some degree each person in the family and their contribution to the problem. Because rarely is it just one person's problem, like they're the problem. It isn't like that. It's the dynamic. It's like you've been talking about perception. And I tell parents all the time, perception is reality. If that's your child's perception, let's don't argue about what did or did not happen. Their perception is you were whatever, whether it's angry or mean or, just whatever it is they felt that you did, or you weren't present, you just weren't available to them. Whatever it is, that's still their perception. And so you have to challenge what people are thinking and what they think the problem is. Because usually what they think the problem is not accurate. Just like with alienation, when the parent who is estranged contributes the whole thing to alienation by the other parent, they are unaware and choose to be, I think, unaware that they have any contribution. And I have yet to see a case, and I'm sure you're going to agree with this. I'm sure you've seen the same thing where that parent did not, in some way, shape, or form, earn the way the child feels about them. They did something to contribute to the child feeling the way they feel.
Are there rules of engagement? For example, like, let's say a child thinks there was domestic violence and the parent's like, "No, there wasn't any at all." Are you gonna let them just go at it in a room, like the kid saying, "You did this," and the dad saying, "No, I didn't. It was your other parent's fault." I mean, how do you assess when they're ready to come together, and how do you try to set it up for success?
Well, that's a great question because I try to give kids the time that they think they need. And the important word there is think,
Mhm.
because they think they aren't ready, aren't ready, aren't ready. I'm not ready. I'm not ready. And you hear it
Not ready to
over.
see the disfavored parent,
Yeah.
right?
Yes. And at that point, my job becomes one of nudging the child, is the way I like to put it.
Mhm.
I'm careful about it, but I have to start nudging them and I have to start preparing them. And I tell them that. I tell them, I'll ask them things like, do you trust me to keep you safe in that interaction?
Mhm.
And if they aren't sure, we talk about that. What can I do? And sometimes it'll be simple little things like, can we have a code word that if I say it, you and I can step out and talk for a minute
Mhm.
alone, or
Mhm.
I can take a break, or something like that. And so it just all of this explains why it takes time. But that's how you give kids the time they think they need, is to let them have a little bit of time, but then help them problem solve. Okay, how can we make it so you don't feel uncomfortable? And then I come up with these different ideas of, do you want a code word? Do you want, what do you want to do? I've got one boy right now, and dad knows we're doing it, but he has his phone. He's 13, and he texts me. He will text me in
Oh, that's nice.
session. Yeah. Yeah. And that's okay. I've got several that I've got hand signals with or a code word, and
That
so
builds that builds some trust with you too, though, I'm sure.
yes.